This might be your most insidious thing yet. You have to be more
Why?
sensitive. Actually, a shot of Levi Jackson or family. It's a lot of false
If
stuff.
anyone wants to have a beverage, I'm having a beverage. I know some of you aren't drinking, but
I so failed my 30 hard and proud of it. So I'm drinking with you, Jen.
But anyways, Jake should be on in a minute, so we'll just wait for him to hop on, and he is going to, get us started. I do have water too, so vodka, water, balance.
What do you think about it?
Hi, Jake.
Hi, Jen. Long time no see.
2 hours? What time is it? Do you want to get started, or can we wait like a minute? Just
Give
to
me a couple
see.
minutes. That's fine.
Okay, we'll just see if a few more pop on, and then we'll get started.
Hey, Jake, it's Jane. How you doing?
I'm fabulous. How are you, Jane?
Good. How's that beautiful baby of yours?
Getting super energetic and old. It's crazy how fast they grow up.
How old is she now?
2.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it does fly. I became a grandmother in January and she's already 4 months old.
Goes so fast.
It does so. Well, I'm glad all is good with you.
Thanks. Yeah, we had some friends over today, and the gal that came over, she has a 16-month-old, and she was talking to my wife today, and she's like, your daughter has a lot of energy. Yeah, she does.
That's awesome. It's nice
Yeah.
that you get to have people over. We can't yet.
Yeah, we're not that strict right now, so it's nice.
Yeah. It's been hard though, for sure. I have a daycare normally, but I have not been able to have my kids here since March 16th.
Crazy.
Yeah. It's really sad.
So insane what's going on in the world.
Yeah, for sure. Did you have a lot of cases where you are?
Not actually. Like we stayed pretty low just in terms of overall cases. So I don't even know the official population of the state, but they've done like last number I saw, which was like last week, we tested 210,000 people in Utah, and I think there was 5,000 cases, I want to say.
Oh, that's not too bad.
So yeah, we stayed relatively low, and I think that's why we're opening up a little bit sooner and not terribly worried about everything.
Well, where we are, there was about 150 cases in our vicinity, which is, oh, I don't even know. There's a lot of people here. We're not a big community, but that includes north and south of us. So, and it's not that many. Now I think we've got 2 active cases or 3 active cases, so it's not too bad.
Oh, awesome. At least it's going down.
Yes, yes, for sure.
All right, shall we get started? So super exciting, obviously, to have Jake on here. He was on here, I think it was March, which I think is really cool because since then, I feel like our team has just exploded. So I think it's really, really awesome that we get to have him on here, especially today when we officially locked in 3-star. So I'm going to pass it over to Jake.
Yes, thanks, Jen. So I'm super excited to be here with you guys. Jen asked if we could do a team call, and I was like, let's do it the day you turn 3-star, and we can do a celebratory call. So first and foremost, congrats, you guys. Like, this is such an amazing team effort and something in order to accomplish like 3-star. And I was raving about Jen earlier today just because what she's been able to accomplish this year. If you guys know, so I've worked with Jen since I started at Beachbody. So that's 4 years, a little over 4 years now. And to see what she's been able to accomplish in just the last several months has been super, super impressive. And that means I want you guys to know, not every conversation we have is fun. Like, there are times that I have the difficult conversation with Jen, and I tell her the honest thoughts and opinions. And every time she's taken action on those things, and she's been able to adjust and do that. And so to see the resiliency of this team, I'm very, very impressed. So congratulations on 3-star. That is a huge accomplishment, and we're very proud of all of you guys. So take a moment to just reel it in, enjoy the recognition. We are very, 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 very impressed with this team and everything that's going on. So for today, in terms of like congratulatory stuff and everything of that sort, I feel that the necessary message is always, now what? Because as we set goals and we achieve goals, a lot of the conversation is, once you hit the goal, then what, right? And so I wanted to break down some things and just some opportunities for you guys and some stuff that I've come across that I think is a great opportunity. So first and foremost is I was listening to Trent Shelton, and I love what he had to say on goal setting. So one thing that's super important to understand is he provided the example of last year they set the goal to have 400 million views, like almost 500 million. So 400 million views on his YouTube channel by the end of the year. With the work they put in and everything that they did, they were able to accomplish that goal by April. So it was like a massive feat. And they were like, this is incredible. He's like, but the second April hit and we hit that goal, nothing else, like it's almost like they stopped putting in the work because they achieved the goal. And they're like, that was awesome. We hit it. And they started to shift their focus onto other things. And that's what happens when we hit goals. We tend to shift our focus onto other things like, I did it. And we start to look at other things in order to grow our business. So when it comes to setting the goals and achieving the goals, I want you to understand the first most important thing is live by the standards that got you to the goal. Those standards are the work you put in, the things you did. Was it the morning routines? When did you fit your time in, right? Everything that you did in order to accomplish your goal and hit everything, because a 3-star diamond team isn't just one coach achieving success. That is everybody doing their part, right? And so whatever it took for you to become successful, for you to put in the work, those are the standards that you need to live by. And then it becomes reevaluating. And I hope where your guys' mindset is what's next for you. Because I know that as a leader, Jen will share her goals. And I know you guys have been very actively engaged in setting goals. And you talk pretty much monthly goals. What is the next step? How are we going to get there? Which is super important. But I really hope you guys are evaluating and saying, like, what's your big plan? When are you going to be 2-star? When are you going to be 3-star? When are you going to be 5-star? Because those are honestly the conversations and the goals that you need to be setting. And the standards that are getting you to these goals are something that we need to maintain. So when you hit something, even if you take a moment to reevaluate what your goal is, you still accomplish everything that you did in order to get to that goal. You're still doing the invites. You're still checking in with your customers. You're still showing up on social media and doing those things so that you don't backslide and lose a little bit of momentum. One of the things that, like one of the quotes that I enjoy is just, momentum is the hardest thing to gain and the easiest thing to lose. And I hate that that's true, but it's something that we need to understand and live by, so that as we pour into our goals and as we do these things, you gain momentum by grinding, right? But you can slip and like lose momentum in the matter of a week. And it's just the most frustrating thing in the world. You know, it's like with fitness, you bust your butt for that cruise. And then a week after the cruise, you're like, what the heck happened to me, right? It's that whole concept. So it's just momentum. Hardest thing to gain, easiest thing to lose. So what does that look like in kind of these terms? The activities and the actions that get us there. And as we start to develop a diamond, right, and we become a diamond coach, we start to push for that 1-star, we're starting to develop a team. And the most often thing that we do is we start to manage, right? And so we start to say, okay, if they become successful, that's going to help my volume, that's going to help grow my business. And so if I invest in these coaches, they're going to help me out. A completely realistic understanding, but I want you guys to know that is not what happens. When you take the time to step back and you say, I'm just going to manage these people, you stop recruiting. You stop doing the real things. And you stop really driving the activities that are super, super important. So when it comes to seeing more success, you have to remember what it took to get there. It took the daily invites. It took the growing your social media. It took, talking to people and being bold and confident. And as you progress, that's what's going to get you there. And so I had to have another conversation with a coach this year. And we were talking about her potential diamonds. And the exact phrase I used was, why are you letting them build your business? You need to build your business, and you need to be the one that takes full accountability for that. So the fact is, your team does a fraction of what you do. So if you want your team to recruit, you need to prove you're a recruiter. Add that credibility to your loop. If you want to prove that you know how to enroll coaches, you better be enrolling coaches. And when I had a one-on-one right before our last team call with Jen back in March, we had the conversation. And I said, look, take the last 90 days and map out how many coaches did you bring in each month. Okay, your highest was 6. I'm challenging you that in the month of April, you need to enroll more than 6. Right? That's the kind of things. Did she? She absolutely did. She crushed that goal. She even beat the goal that I set for her, and she continued. And then May, she beat that goal. So what I'm trying to get at is when it comes to building the business, please don't take the time to manage. You are an entrepreneur, and I think the best imagery of entrepreneurs is entrepreneurs jump and then figure out how to fly. So you got to take the plunge and you got to learn. You got to do those kind of things. And we just want to avoid the management phase, which happens way more frequently than we care to admit, but we all do it. And so whenever you're kind of getting in a mode where you feel like you're managing, you got to question yourself. Am I building my business? Am I doing the things that are going to grow my business? Am I inviting? That should be the first and foremost thing we do every single day. Now, beyond that, you have to have a pool of influence, meaning a pool of people you can invite. So you better be growing your social media each and every day. Now, you have challenge groups running. I need to be checking in because they are people that are getting results and they're going to be solid coaches. So I need to be investing in them. Last on the list, coaches. They've already agreed to put in the work. So why are they the first people we go to? They should honestly be towards the back end of our to-do list because they should know and understand what it takes. And if not, they should be willing to do the work to understand, right? So whenever I'm looking at like, what's the order of importance here? Invites, grow your social media, check in with your customers, then check in with your coaches. And then if you have time after that, do the flashy fun things and develop the graphics, right? Those are the things. And sometimes I just think we flip those. We start with the fun, catchy graphics, and then we're checking in with our coaches. Then we check in with our customers, and then we don't have enough time in the day. And so we add a couple people to our network, and that's it. And we don't even do our invites. And so we really need to make sure we're checking the right activities. And when I talk about investing with your customers, I'm talking about coaching with your customers. We need to be challenging them to understand what this business opportunity is. So you need to be talking about the business opportunity in your challenge groups. You need to be challenging them to do personal development because that's a whole part of this transformation. You need to be challenging them to, hey, do you have anybody that's going to join you on your next round? Do you know people that you want to invite into this community? What have you loved about this community? Why aren't you sharing that with people? You need to be engaging in those kind of activities so that the customers understand there's a business to be had. Because sometimes we fear those conversations. We fear like, I don't want to preach in my challenge group. They're just good customers. And it's like, that's great. But you do need to get them to that next step. And that next step is coaching. So I've said this since the beginning of quarantine and the beginning of this pandemic. One of the most important things that people need, and I'm talking general people, whether they're a customer or not, they need the vital behaviors in their life. More than ever, people need connection. You need to teach them how to connect on social media. They need to be engaged in a community. They need this, okay? They need to be a product of the product. We know what eating right, and when I say eating right, we know what eating the majority of the time, because like my wife baked cookies yesterday. So yes, I've been eating cookies, right? But when you eat right the majority of the time and you have balance in your life, you feel balanced. You feel better. And then it gives you more energy for your workouts. You can do those extra reps. And what I love about being a product of the product, guys, is the more we work out, the more we callous our brain, is the way David Goggins says it. The more you're willing to do the hard things. Because each and every day you push play. Each and every day you do those hard things. And so when something arises that's outside of a workout that's hard, you're willing to step in and lean in. That's what I love about being a product of the product. And more than ever, guys, I think you guys have seen it. I know in the States this is true, and I'm very confident it's true in Canada. Suicide rates have escalated and depression rates have escalated because you've taken people who had an outlet and you isolated them at home, and now the mental issues that they were able to hide at least, or think they were hiding, they no longer have that outlet. What's happening? So I know in the States for sure, like domestic violence has increased and other things have increased and suicide rates because people weren't addressing the issues. So now more than ever, people need personal development. They need to be investing in their mindset and in their brain so that they feel content. I've been reading this book for my personal development. It is You Can Be Happy No Matter What. 5 Principles that teach you to be happy. Now, it's by Richard Carlson, but the first principle is all around thoughts. And the whole premise is your circumstances do not control your happiness. Your thoughts control your happiness. And I think a lot of the times we like to blame it on our circumstances. I'm unhappy because, I lost my job. I'm unhappy because my house is not it's not in order. I'm unhappy because whatever the circumstance may be. That's not true. It's the thoughts that we control that determine our happiness. And I think that's one of the most viable principles that we can do and a lot of the times that seems like, really easy to understand, but applying those principles is hard because you're constantly bombarded with negative thoughts. And it's not that I don't have negative thoughts. I'm aware of my negative thoughts and I know what reality is, and I'm willing to invest in that. I'm willing to invest in the present and the things that bring me joy and happiness. And I stave off or avoid those negative thoughts. So all this is to accumulate to what? Okay. What I want you guys to get out of this is you hit a huge milestone, but this team's capable of so much more. And I know you guys see it and I know you guys feel it. So what I wanted you to understand is take the time to say, yes, we did something amazing, but we're not done yet. I was reading a quote right before this by Vince Lombardi, one of my favorite quote guys. I don't know if you guys know him. He's a college football coach that is famous for several amazing quotes. But he said, perfection is unattainable, but if we chase perfection, we can achieve excellence. And I think that's the truth in what we do. We strive for perfection, which is impossible. But the more we strive to be perfect, the more disciplined we become, the more willing to engage we become, and the more opportunity for success, and as he uses, excellence, we can achieve. So as you guys set this next goal, and as you guys take the time to evaluate and say what's next for you as an individual and you as a team, understand I'm looking at more 1s and 2 stars as a part of this team. I want to see premier coaches. I want to see team leaders. I want to see team builders. I want to see other elite coaches on this team by the end of the year. So that's where you guys should be investing your time. So now that you've achieved this goal, you've proved to yourself you guys can do it. So now work together and say, okay, what's next? And if you think, hey, diamond in 30 days kind of gives you the butterflies, that's exactly what that goal should be. If 1-star diamond kind of gives you those butterflies, but hey, I could be 1-star qualifying in 30 days, that's where your goal should be. And that's what I want you guys to come together as a team and say, okay, let's identify what the next big thing is for the team. And then it's your job to say, this is how I fit into that. Oh, we want to be a 5-star team. I'm going to be a 1-star diamond that is solid for this 5-star team. I'm going to be a 2-star that is here to support this team. I'm going to be one of those diamonds that's here to support this team because we need 5 leaders to step forward and hit that 5-star mark. So live by the standards. Live by the things you know that bring you success. And when you achieve a goal, great. Take the time to say that's awesome, but never stop doing the work that got you there. That's the most important thing I wanted you guys to get today. So one thing I would love to do, we got about 10 minutes left just to keep this nice and comfortable. What kind of questions do you guys have? I would love to see if you guys have any questions or if there's been something that you've just been struggling with. Let's talk about them. Feel free to unmute yourself, put it in the chat, whatever you want. Let's ask some questions and kind of get you guys the responses you need. Guys, I don't fear silence. That's yeah, you gotta understand
I
that.
hate silence. It's so awkward. I was like, I'm just gonna talk because I don't think I have questions. Ladies, do you have any questions? Someone
Okay, I was writing it in the chat, but I might as well ask something. I'm so close. I just need like one more coach, but I have such a hard time talking to my challengers about coaching. I feel like I don't want to like rub them the wrong way or something, especially like since I've probably sort of mentioned it at the beginning, and now to like bring it up again when I know that they already said no the first time. Like I'm just not sure how to go around like bringing it up more and like feeling comfortable about it, or not worrying about hurting their feelings or rubbing them the wrong way.
Totally get that. Here's what I like. So Katie Moore, who's a 6-star diamond out of South Carolina, I want to say North or South Carolina. She's phenomenal. Okay. And here's what changed her business and what allowed her to get to 6-star. When she realized the reason she showed up every single day was because she was a coach, that's when her business changed. And I think sometimes we forget about that aspect, right? So when it comes like looking at that situation, Bailey, are you sharing what you love about coaching? Are you sharing the reason why? Because there's so much more behind why you're a coach than the business opportunity. It becomes a lifestyle. It becomes like you become more accountable because you're a coach. You have people relying on you to show up. That holds you accountable. So when I'm talking to my customers, I'm like, hey, look, are you looking for that next level of accountability? Coaching's where it's at. Because when you have people relying on you to show up, you're way more likely to continue to push play and to get to that next level of whatever it is you desire to do. So whenever I think about how do you bring this up without being icky, salesy, or whatever, it's talking to coaching principles that will get them to the next level, right? So they're already engaged, and I know that, but are they doing personal development? No, maybe I should require some sort of personal development in there. Are they actively inviting people? No. Why are they not looking for people to bring into this community and add? I want more people in. Who's got people they can bring into this community? And like Micah Folsom does it as well. Getting people to engage in coaching activities without them knowing their coaching activities is always a great way to bring up that conversation. So you could privately message one of your top customers, right? And say like, hey, I love your motivation. Like you've seriously been so consistent and done amazing things. Would you be really willing to private message so-and-so in the group and give them a little boost? I think it would mean so much coming from a fellow customer. They jump in, you follow up. Hey, what did you say? I can totally see a shift in them. I love what you do. Would you do that again? Now that you've got them doing these things, when you're like, look, you would be a phenomenal coach. And they're like, no, I can't do that. You're doing it. Like that's the thing about it. You've already done it. So getting them to engage in those coaching activities is great. And you don't have to call them coaching activities. It's, hey, did you do your personal development today? I want to know about it. What's your top personal development tip you have this week? Or are you inviting people? What are you afraid of to bring people into this community? You guys see how amazing it is. And how can we make this community better? Bring more people in. So I want to know what you're willing to do. Just actively engage with passion is the best way to bring it up. And it never comes across as gross or icky or like, oh my gosh, Bailey just never stops talking about coaching.
You know what? And it's funny. I always like talk about how much I love Beachbody, like not Benji. Can you just sorry?
You're fine.
For 1 second. I talk about like how much I love Beachbody, but I never really like talk about how much I love coaching to my challengers. So that is a great like tip. Thank you so much.
You bet.
I have a question.
Go right
So
ahead.
I have a coach and she's an absolute like rock star, but she's so afraid to invite to coaching because she feels like the minute she does, they're going to turn her down. And I'm struggling with how to get her over that fear. Like I'm really struggling. Like she's probably going to be a success starter this month, but she's so scared to invite to the coaching.
So whenever it comes down to that, what I like to do is ask them questions. And it's like, okay, what are you afraid of? And if you can kind of identify that fear, is it a fear of judgment? Is it a fear of being salesy? Is it a fear of, talking to people, or like whatever it kind of breaks down into, then it gives you more ability to speak to it and say, okay, here's where I think we can add some value. But I think the easiest thing to do is to say, okay, you're afraid of like inviting to coaching. Let's do this. What are the top 10 things you love about coaching? Now, what I want you to do is over the next little bit, sprinkle those into your post so that people are aware that you're a coach, that people are aware what this coaching is. Then it gives you a little more freedom to invite to coaching.
Okay. That's
And
great.
then the last thing I would always say is value trumps objection any day. So we do, especially right now, we get a lot of like, I don't have the funds for that. The reason they say that is because they don't see the value of what we're offering. When they understand that $186 gets them more than just a challenge pack, but you're getting a coach, a community, a support system. They're like, you're getting so much more. And frankly, we know that these programs change lives. So really, you're getting a support system with the opportunity to change your life for $186. When they see that value, they will always say yes. I can tell you countless coaches that were like, I maxed out a credit card to become a coach. Or like, I didn't have funds and I was talking to family members to get a couple bucks so I could become a coach.
I was
Because
one of those coaches.
they see the value in it. So for her, it's okay, are we creating value? Are we talking about the things that we love? And honestly, what are you afraid of? Like, let's break that down. And when you speak to those things, it'll give you the like ammunition to help her get over those things.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bet.
Any other questions, ladies?
Actually, I got one. I haven't signed up anybody under me at all yet. So I struggle with talking about coaching at all. Like, how can I call myself a coach if I don't even have anyone?
So this is just a confidence thing. This is just where we like what we do as individuals is we have to prove to ourselves we're something before others will believe it, right? So it's like, how can I say I'm a coach if I haven't even enrolled a coach or I haven't really engaged in coaching activities? But you got to start somewhere, right? There's always going to be the first person that you have to connect with. Like, I'm always amazed, like when I go to like a midnight movie premiere and I see the person that's like first in line, I'm like, how the freak did they get to that first spot? Like, but it's always got to start somewhere. So Beverly, this is what I challenge you to do and understand. When it comes to inviting, do this. Assume success, okay? This is probably one of the best things you can start to learn to be a really good inviter. And that is, don't allow people a way out when you're talking to them. So what that looks like, and this is the most comfortable way of giving an invite, is if this is right for you, I've got an amazing opportunity, or if this is the right time, or I have some really cool things that I think would benefit you. Let me know your thoughts. All of that is me being like, I don't want to overpressure you, and I want you to say no. In essence, because I only want you to say yes if you're like ready and raring. So I gave you the way out. When you assume success, you're speaking more confidently, okay? And it's just saying like, hey, look, I've got some amazing things, and I know they can change your life because they've changed mine. So I've got a rocking group that's going to start in a week, or I've got a group that's starting a week after that. When are you getting started? Do you want to start in a week or two? Didn't give you a way out.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. And I didn't give you a way out, and you're more likely to engage. And honestly, when you talk like that, people kind of get that sense of like, she doesn't need me. And they're like, no, you do need me. Like they have that like, no, you need me. So I want to try this. And they'll more likely engage. And if they're not in a circumstance that's great, they go on a follow-up list, right? And then you just continue to lead with that confidence, and they will always come around to it. So be confident. Yes, you haven't enrolled anybody yet, but we all started somewhere. Jen at one point had 0 coaches. So you just have to start somewhere, and you be confident with that. you don't have anything to prove to yourself. You know how to build a business. You know what needs to be done. Now you just got to do it, and you got to start somewhere. So be confident, assume success, and that will fall in line.
Thank you for that. I got to run though, guys. I'm at work, so that's all the time I got. Thanks, Jake.
Thank you, Beverly. Well, and we'll wrap up with that, guys. I think that's a great point to kind of wrap up with. Assume success, be confident. I want you guys to be proud of what you've been able to accomplish, but I want you to sense the urgency that I sense. If you've seen anything that's been happening in Canada lately, you should be very excited. The opportunity is there. I've shared this statistic before with other teams, but in a 2018 Census Bureau update, this is Canadian numbers. All right, I'm coming out with Canadian numbers, not US statistics, which happens all the time. In Canada, 16.4% of adults actually achieve their active daily quota, meaning 30 minutes of movement a day, only 16%. So that range is from 18 to like, I think it was 76 or something like that. Guys, the opportunity's there. When you look at Canada and everybody's like, it's a saturated market. No, we have 30,000 coaches to 30 million Canadians. So we're like not even at the tip of the iceberg. Like, we're so just at bottom of the barrel right now. Like, we have so much more opportunity for growth, and we're seeing that right now. We're seeing like if you look at recognition over the last 2 months, we've had the lowest week we've had is 16 diamonds. It's huge. Like this week we had 7 Star Diamond advancements. Last week we had 10 Star Diamond advancements. The week before that we had like 5 or 6 Star Diamond advancements. We are seeing something incredible. So you have all the opportunity in the world. Be excited. Now it's up to the team to say what's next for the team. And then it's up to you to say, how am I going to be a leader that fits into this team? And then you commit to it and you hold each other accountable and work together. So I'm super excited what you guys have to do. I'm very proud. Like, I think Jen understands how excited I am that you guys were able to hit 3-star. Like, I feel almost as invested as Jen does sometimes, because I'm like constantly like talking to Jen, being like, what is going on? What are you doing? We got to get you to this next level. And to see it start to take form is because of you guys. And it's because Jen leaned in as a leader and you guys respected that. And now you're leaning in as coaches. And I love seeing that. So thank you for being awesome. Thank you for the work you put into this. Let's continue to be great, and let's set this team up for success for the rest of the year.
Boom. Thank you. That was so amazing. Thank you so much, Jake. As always, you never fail to light the fire and just always seem to say the right things. So thank you very much for hanging out with us tonight and celebrating with us tonight. And this will not be the last of celebrations for this team. Let me tell you.
I know it won't be, so I'm excited.
Well,
thanks, guys.
Again. Enjoy your night.
You as well. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, Jake. Gotta love him. So I know it's kind of an odd time, like it's kind of dinner time, so I won't keep us on here too long. I'm just gonna do a really quick kind of recap of what Jake said, and then we can go. So I love his first point, how he just said that live by the standards that got you to that goal. That I felt was so powerful, because I think it's so important. Like, yes, we need to celebrate today. And, anytime you hit a big goal, a personal goal, like whether it's in your business or your health and wellness journey, celebrate, but then get right back to work, right? Because it can be so easy to, like Jake kind of said, like you can get that momentum, but you can lose it way faster than you get it, right? So it's important that we keep doing the steps that have got us where we are today. Like, don't change anything, like just keep doing what you're doing. Like, everyone is on fire right now. And so I love how he put that, like, live by the standards that got you where you are today. And I also love that he said, like, your team doesn't build your business, you do. That was something like I was stuck on for like, I feel like a year straight. I didn't really recruit. I was just like, I got these girls, they say they want it, but it's like, I stopped doing the inviting. I stopped doing the things to still grow my business, because it's like, kind of like you put all your eggs in one basket. You're just like, oh yeah, these girls say they're going to do it, so they're going to do it. But we all know, like, that doesn't always happen, right? So I love how he broke it down, like invites first, customers second, our team last. Like, that doesn't mean your team's not important and don't check in with your team. But I love that order. Like, you want to make sure you're getting your business building activities done first. And then, you check in with your team and stuff like that. It doesn't mean, give any less time, but you want to ensure you're getting your own business done first. And then when you have time left over, that's when, you're checking in with your current customers, checking in with your current coaches. And like, stop managing. I like that he said that too, because sometimes it's easy to fall in like management mode, but like, we don't have to do that. We're all our own bosses. Like, it's more just help when needed, support, mentor. We don't have to like manage our teams, right? Challengers make great coaches. That's something I've heard from day one as I started this business. And Bailey, I love the question that you asked about, asking challengers to be coaches, because that's something I've struggled with too. It's like, you don't want to wreck a good thing. Like, if they're rocking it in the challenge group, it's like, I know I get nervous. Like, oh my gosh, if I ask them to coach, are they going to just like be like, nope, I'm out of here and like quit altogether? But I like how Jake kind of said, like, just share about what you love about coaching and like almost add in little coaching activities without them knowing, because really challengers are kind of doing what we do as coaches anyway, just not quite so public, right? And I know if it was me, like, if I got a message from someone and they were like, hey, like, you've been absolutely rocking it in our groups, you're posting lots, you're like, you love the products and programs, like, have you ever thought of being a coach? I would not be like weirded out or offended by that. I would either just say, oh, well, no, I've never really thought about it, or like, no, thanks, not right now. So I like that you asked that, because I think it's important that we ask our customers, because honestly, I'm learning that you just never know. Like, I find the people that I think will not coach. And it's like, oh, if I had never asked them, the answer would always be no. So it kind of goes back to that confidence thing too. We just have to go into it thinking about success, and just like, who cares what they say? If they say yes or no, it doesn't really matter. And I also love that he talked about individual goals and team goals. I feel like that's something we've been doing pretty well at, though. Like, all of you guys are doing really well with setting your own personal rank goals. And then we're also chatting a lot about team goals, which I think is super powerful. That statistic, 16.4% of Canadians are not getting the daily exercise. Like, that's nuts. I'm glad he mentioned that. That's so crazy to me. But yeah, that's kind of all I have, you guys. Again, Jake kind of says everything so well. It's like, I feel like I don't really need to say much after he talks, but thank you all so much for hopping on tonight, and big congratulations again that we are a 3-star team. Super exciting. And again, like Jake said, like, this is a team goal. Like, we would not be here today if it wasn't for all of you. So like, make sure you guys celebrate. And like I said, virtual high five, all of that. And
congratulations to you, Jen, for just being a rock star and being there for all of us.
Oh, well, thank you.
We love you.
Thank you. I love you guys too. And I can't wait to see what's next for us. Like, some of you are so close to like 1-star and diamond or emerald, and it's incredible. And I'm just so excited for where our team is headed. So don't stop doing what you're doing. Again, it's good to take a day or two and celebrate, but then, jump right back in and just keep doing what you've been doing. And yeah, that is all I got, ladies. So thank you so much again for hopping on and hanging out. Next week, we'll be back to regular schedule, except I don't know what next week is, if our team calls at daytime or nighttime. So I'll have to look at that calendar, but it'll be back to Wednesday team call. So yeah, thanks again, ladies. I hope everyone enjoys their night, and I will see everyone tomorrow. Bye.